All right, friends, I thought I'd bring you along as I unpack my bike from a 5-day motorcycle trip, just to show you what I take with me camping. And you can see first and foremost, the motorcycle that I ride is a 2015 Road Glide Special. I do have the touring seat, backrest, and detachable tour pack on it when I ride long distance. Otherwise, I run the stock seat, no tour pack, and no backrest. All of the gear that you see in the table before you, or on the table before you, fits inside of the saddlebags or in the top box, with the exception of that saddleman pack there, which sits on the rear seat behind the backrest. And I'll go through each section here and kind of tell you what I take with me, how I pack it, and where it goes. First and foremost, housing, lodging, and for me, it's tent camping on every trip. So I take my Kelty 2-person tent. It's a Solitas tent. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. Doesn't matter, they don't make it anymore, but they do make some stuff just like it. So check those out. I have a footprint. This is a pillowcase that I put my C2 Summit air pillow in. I love this air pillow. My first one developed a hole, used it so much that I actually went out and bought another one, spent the $40 to buy another one. This is my air pad. I take this with me as a buffer, gets me off the ground. Also, when it's cold outside, you don't get that transfer of heat, or heat loss, excuse me, from the body to the ground if you're up and off and insulated, isolated. My bag, my sleeping bag, differs for every trip. This is a Marmot 30-degree bag, packable. Everything you see here in this section is all backpacking related. That bag is switched out depending on the temperature of where I am and what climate I'm going to be in. I have bigger bags, I have smaller bags. I've even been known to travel with just blankets if it's going to be hot enough where I'm at to support that. Now, this last trip got into the 60s, upper 50s, low 60s at night. I slept under, but not inside of the mummy bag. So for me, that was a little bit heavy, but it worked perfectly if I slept under it, but not in it. Last few items here, I have just a typical tripod type camp stool. I have a light or series of lights for the tent. This is an Ozark Trail LED variable. It's got a pretty bright setting and a less bright setting, and then the night light feature. This light, believe it or not, at night in the tent works pretty well. I tend to use that quite a bit. The others are almost too bright. I take a little headlamp with me in case I'm setting up at night or for any variety of different reasons. I take a fan if it's going to be warm, little battery powered fan. I got this, I believe, just on Amazon. None of these products were given to me. Nothing was done for me. Everything you see here was purchased with my own money. I have no sponsorships by any brand at all. Take some type of a knife with me. This goes into the campsite because of getting some wood to start kindling for starting fires. I've also used this little knife as a food prep tool, so it is there as a tool. But that's my camping side. Moving on to maintenance. I got one more item here that's not out. Let's bring these two out. Two more items, actually. I am, again, purchased with all my own money. I am a big fan of the Anchor brand. I have used this Anchor pack. It's a 13,000 amp hour battery rechargeable pack. I've used this for years and years now and have had great luck with it, and it recharges my phone multiple times. These two I bought new this trip because I was taking a GoPro with me for the first time and I wanted to have extra battery backup. Not so happy with at least one of the two. I've only used one of them and was not real pleased. I was happy that it had multiple ports, even had a little cool flashlight on the end of it, little LED. It's kind of a neat little thing if you just needed light quickly. And it also was supposed to charge my phone wirelessly, which it did, but it also died charging my phone once. And it's a 10,000 amp hour battery. So I was not real pleased with those, but for the $9 I spent, and I only used one, so I will give it the benefit of the doubt and I will try the other one. Maybe I just have one bad defective one. But I always take charger. This is an Anchor smart charger, has double USB ports, which is really nice. I was able to plug in at different places that I was at. Some of the campsites I had actually had water and electric available. Med kit, which has just a variety of different bandages, some basic meds, cleaning, wound cleaning type stuff in here, wound dressing type things, anything over-the-counter type drugs. So I have like some Imodium in case I get sick on the road. I had some Benadryl in here in case I get stung or have an allergic reaction. I am allergic to peanuts and peanut butter, so I always have Benadryl. I'm not so severe that I have to have an EpiPen, so Benadryl works for me. Let's unzip this. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. Might be tough. I don't have it with me because it's back in my truck now, but I also at times do pack a tourniquet. I have a tourniquet that goes with me on the bike. I need to get one that's just dedicated to it and stays in the bike at all times. Not bad with one hand. Eye drops. Here's another one. I'm glad I opened this because I almost forgot. Eye drops. Big time on a bike. If you get something in the eye, I was on a ride with friends one time and he got a object in his eye and we had nothing. So since that time, I've been carrying a small container of eye drops. Just some Tums. Again, for stomach upset, I'm eating some weird stuff. You'll see my food stuff here in just a minute. So I carry some Tums. Super glue. Crazy glue, super glue. Can be used obvious purposes, stick things back together, but it can also be used to stick you back together. So if you need any type of super glue, I always keep some matches inside of my med kit just to keep them there, keep them dry. A bite sting stick. My wife, who rides her own motorcycle alongside me, has gotten stung more times than any two people I've known ever on a motorcycle. And she is allergic to bees, so we do use a sting stick and or, like I said, Benadryl. I keep Imodium, Benadryl, and also Advil Cold and Sinus. I have bad sinuses in this pouch, a little bit of tape, some antiseptic wipes, that kind of stuff. So real basic med kit. Tool roll. This is the Harley-Davidson Snap-on tool roll. So it does have all the tools that came with it. I have added a few things, supplemented a couple pairs of pliers. I have some fuses, have a tire patch kit, which takes me to the air compressor. And this is an aluminum wheeled bike. These are tubeless tires, so I can plug a small hole on the road if I need to. And this is a compact air compressor that I can plug into my, what they call them, accessory ports. But all of us old heads know them as cigarette ports, right? Your cigarette lighter jack. And that pretty much covers the toolkits and the bike maintenance type stuff that I have here and that I take on a regular basis. The only other thing I didn't show you is a tire gauge that I keep on the bike at all times. That never leaves. These two items are on the bike constantly. Med kits on the bike. Battery packs come and go and charger comes and goes. I don't have anything dedicated to the bike. Next up, for the road trips, I carry my food and all of my dry stores in this cool Saddleman bag. It's faded. I've had it on many road trips. It used to be quite dark black, but it is very sun faded, as you can see, and it has a lot of storage, a lot of compartments. Up here I kind of keep my sunglasses, spare sunglasses in case a pair that I'm wearing breaks. This is just a rain cover in this pouch, but you can also stuff some things in there if needed. Open it up, and I do have some additional bike maintenance type things. I keep a towel in here, microfiber. I use that on my helmet, lenses, and my glasses, my face shields, whatever. And then again, all of these products I purchase. I get nothing from any of these companies, nor kickbacks, nor discounts, or anything. But I have used for years Bug Slide, and I like this a lot. It does work well on the bike if you get tar, sap, bug guts, whatever. I also use that on my helmet and my face shield. Same thing with these wipes. These are just windshield cleaning wipes. I got them at Advanced. Again, purchased by my own dollar. And then inside, hopefully none of that stuff tips out because I can't close it too easily with one hand. You'll see some of my dry stores. Okay, just have some snacks, some tuna, bags of tuna. That sometimes is a lunch for me. And then I'll have my Mountain House and or Backpacker's Pantry. I've used both brands. I like the Mountain House stuff the most. I do really love their new packaging. Here you can see the difference in the height and the depth of their old package versus their new packaging. It's much easier to eat out of the new packaging. It's much more compact. You don't have to dirty another dish. I also dry store and pack. I love oatmeal in the mornings on the bike. I take coffee, so I take my little coffee cup. I use Black Rifle Coffee Instant, which I'm not sure they're making anymore. I don't know if they make this any longer or not, the Black Rifle Coffee Instant, but I do love that. Pedialyte makes these new sport powders that you just add to a bottle of water. Really awesome product. I used Pedialyte for years, just standard Pedialyte. What else? I take some cleaning supplies with me. That is a USGI mess kit. It does not have the internals, it's just the outer and the plate. But I do use that to cook in and cook on if sometimes I know you're not supposed to. I have done it, don't do it often. Most of my cooking is done in the Jetboil Mini-Mo. Another piece of kit that I will not leave home without on a major road trip. Love my Jetboil Mini-Mo. Fantastic little single burner stove. This trip I took an extra gas canister with me because I had a unknown quantity used small one inside of here. If you get their small canisters of fuel, it does pack and fit inside with the burner. So I did take a spare large with me just in case. But honestly, I used that for four breakfasts, 4 dinners, and didn't have any problem with it. It did not run out of fuel in that time, and it was a used canister. So, and I don't know how many meals I'd cooked on it previously. All right, clothing now is a personal preference. I know people that'll ride an entire 5-day trip or more wearing the exact same clothing, maybe wash it once during the trip. I don't do that. I do tend to take about 3 t-shirts. If I'm going on a 5-day or more trip, I'll take 3 t-shirts, 3 to 4 pairs of undergarments. I'll take, again, 3 pairs of socks. I take at least 1 pair of jeans. Sometimes I will take a second pair. I take a pair of gym shorts to wear in the campsite, and I typically wear that when I'm washing my other clothing, and sometimes we'll sleep in the gym shorts as well. And then I'll take a long sleeve, either a long sleeve t-shirt, or this is like a Nike Under Armour type t-shirt. I wear that, just keep arms out of the wind. I did buy a couple t-shirts on the trip, so you got to remember you're going to have to pack those home. If you don't use them, don't wear them. Plug for Dale's Wheels Through Time, if you've never been there, in Maggie Valley, North Carolina. And that's where my trip was down to see the museum and also to ride the Blue Ridge Parkway. So this is everything I took with me on that trip. It was a 5-day trip in total. I did the Parkway in 2 days. I'll do a separate video about my experience on the Parkway. That's it. Clothing. Oh, no, it isn't. I also have my rain gear. I take my rain gear. On this trip, I actually did pack my leather jacket. Going into the mountains, something you don't think about the first time I went into the mountains is the temperature difference between the foot of the mountain and the top of the mountain. Okay, so from the base to the peak of the mountain, it can vary anywhere from 30 to 40 degrees. So I wear my leather jacket typically if it's that big of a swing. Now, the Blue Ridge Mountain is not high enough. When I rode the Beartooth Pass on Beartooth Mountain out in Montana, it was like 30 to 40 degrees. It started in the 80s at the foot of the mountain, and by the time I got up to the peak, it was in the 50s. So I was very happy to have my leather jacket with me. So think about that. Gloves, those kind of things you might need. In some instances, depending on your leather, I do wear a Harley leather jacket. It can double as a rain top, so you might only have to pack rain pants. I take both because just temperature-wise, I don't always like to ride in my big, heavy leather jacket. Last 2 pieces here, I take my toiletry items in a little day bag. I keep everything travel size, keep it small. I also use unscented items for as much as the product as I can purchase. Soaps, deodorant, things of that nature, so that you're not attracting animals, specifically bears. I was in bear country. The towel is a tech towel, also by Sea to Summit. Find the tag here. There it is. Sea to Summit tech towel. Again, all of these items I purchased. Sea to Summit also, if you recall, makes the air pillow right there. It's another brand that I love to use. And again, that same theme of backpacking items going on a motorcycle trip is ideal. The other thing I do in bear country is I put all of my food stores into this pouch, and then I can move it into a safe location if they have bear lockers, or I can move it away from my campsite if bears are known to frequent the area. Something else to consider if you're camping in bear country is your gum, and if you have any kind of flavored or scented chapstick, like that is just a sunblock kind of chapstick. I think it's copper tone or something like that. Well, not really scented, but make sure you put that into your pack before you move everything out of sight. So that's about it. That's what I take with me on my trips. You can see overhead here on the table, that's quite a lot of gear. It does all fit very nicely and neatly into the tour pack and the saddlebags of the bike. And then that Saddleman extra bag does help quite a bit get the food out of the packs, and also gets it off the bike and away from the campsite if there's bears present. Hopefully that helps. That's the basics of what I take with me. I do suggest you make a list of the items that you take with you on your trips if you're just new to this. And then like I did, I added things to the list, and then I subtracted things from that list too, things that I didn't want to take again that I never used. So that's how I pared down my list of things. I literally created it and took it off as I used it or didn't need it. Whatever, added it if I didn't have it with me and it was something I found I needed. So hopefully that helps get you ready for your first long distance motorcycle trip. And if you're camping, adds a little layer of complexity to it, but it's a lot of fun, and I prefer it to sleeping in a hotel room. Cost is significantly less. I've paid as little as $10 a night for a campsite, up to about $60 or $70 maximum, depending on the area and what was going on at that time in the area, as opposed to $100 plus for motels, hotel rooms, overnight stays in a hotel. Also, I like to camp. Another piece of it is because I'm near the bike. I don't have to unload everything every night. I can leave things packed on it. I always felt compelled to take everything off of the bike. We did in the family have a motorcycle get stolen in broad daylight. Big bagger got stolen. It was an ultra classic. So I don't like to leave items sitting on the bike overnight out in the parking lot when I'm way away from it. So for me, it's a little added peace of mind too, to be near the bike, camped by it. Ride safe, get out in the wind, get camping, get traveling on those motorcycles. Have a blast. Feel free to drop any questions or comments down in the comment section below. Follow and like if you like more content like this, and be safe.